What really gets my dick hard is
So fucking what?
Welcome to Metal Up Your Podcast, episode 16. I'm Ethan Luck.
And I'm Clint Wells.
And this episode, we are ranking Metallica's studio records. Top 10, essentially, because there's 10 albums.
It just works out so perfectly.
It really works out perfectly. It's never been a better time to do this.
It's almost as if they've built their entire career anticipating this podcast.
I think you're right. I think Torben's been sitting around wondering when we're going to do this. Please do a top 10 of all the records. I know what number 10 is for both of you, but it's okay.
We have to record St. Angus so that Metal Up Your Podcast can have a top 10.
The thing that's kind of sad about this episode is I think everyone knows what our number 10 is going to be.
Oh, I know. But that's true. But that's not... I think what's most interesting about this list... Because 10 is just foregone, for sure. But I think what's interesting is what our 7, 8, and 9s are going to be. Because I have a feeling yours and mine might be a little different.
Yeah, you might be surprised by some of my ordering here.
Do you like how when I said little different, I went way up? Little different.
Little different. But yeah, before we get into all that stuff, we got a bunch of fan stuff to read.
And as usual, yeah, we're gonna try to as the podcast grows, it's gonna get a little harder to catch everyone. But I think we're still in the zone here where we can try to really catch everyone over the last few weeks who's reached out.
Yeah, and it's really been it's pretty crazy for me and Clint to see the growth in this podcast. But I mean, we're getting emails just about every day. We're getting hit up on the message boards, Facebook, all the social media stuff. It's pretty crazy.
My pager's blowing up.
Dude, my pager, I have so many 911 pages.
Did you ever have a pager?
Yes, I did. I got it for my 16th birthday.
You still have one, don't you?
I mean, some people gotta get a hold of me.
I actually paged you to start this podcast.
Yeah, since I'm on my old Motorola, I didn't get it. I'll get it probably next year. Hey, yeah, Clint wants to do episode 16? Weird, we're on episode 59.
Okay, so we're going to, as usual, start off with some forum stuff, and I believe Ethan's going to go first here, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go first. You are correct. Yeah, I'm going to do some forum stuff. Got a couple here. This is from Melody NJ, as we've heard from before.
She's our bud.
Yeah, she's totally our bud. Great podcast as usual. One of the funniest parts was Ethan trying to pronounce the screen names. You are correct. Sometimes it's difficult. The accents were a hoot as well. The both of you are awesome. Thanks. I think she means accents as in you're Dave Mustaine. Hello, me.
Hello, me. It's me again. That's like the only accent I can do is that one Dave Mustaine song.
Well, and I think if someone were to start a Megadeth podcast, that could be their intro, like, hello, me, welcome to the podcast.
I almost want to start a Megadeth podcast just so we can do that. It'll just be, every week will just be me going, hello, me, it's me
and that's all it is.
Very short, very succinct, to the point.
Totally. Yeah, our next one from the forum comes from our I say long time, but 3 month, long time listener, Lori Laker.
Ah, Lori.
Colorado zone. I swear to Cliff Almighty, this podcast and a few others get me through my Mondays. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Looking forward to the call-in episodes, hopefully to participate myself. Merch, patches in particular, sound awesome. I'm so down. Patreon donation en route after this coming payday.
Oh, man. Thank you, Laurie.
That's very kind. I would love to make some patches.
Me too, dude.
Yeah, you got to throw those on your jean jackets.
What if I made a battle jacket and it just was all Metal Up Your Podcast patches?
That's all it was.
They're like, Clint might have some narcissism issues.
You could wear that to the as self-promotion to the Metallica show in Atlanta.
Hey, man, I just wear my favorite thing. I just wear my favorite podcast. It's just my favorite podcast.
Hey, man, did you know that I do a podcast with my friend Ethan? What's it called? Let me hang on. Oh, hold on. It's right here.
Let me look at one of my 24 patches. It's called Metal Up Your Podcast.
Totally.
Well, so speaking of Patreon and patches, which you may be able to tell them a little better where to find Patreon, but the Patreon's up and running. We've already gotten a few donations, and those donations aren't for Ethan and I to get rich because we're already rich, bitch.
Yeah, dog.
But they are for us to like make some Metal Up Your Podcast swag. So where can they find that? What is it? Patreon.com?
Patreon.com/Metal Up Your Podcast.
Patreon.com/MySpace/
Friendster.
Exactly.
All right, our next one from the forum comes from Swerk H. There's one good question missing. I listened carefully, and I think there wasn't such a question asked. What if Mustaine never joined Metallica? Kill and Ride would for sure would have been different records without Dave's contributions. How would have Kill and Ride sounded with Hetfield? Or Hetfield and Hammett riffs only. So no Mustaine on the first two records.
I think we did kind of mention that. I mean, obviously Dave brought a lot to the table for that first record and even into Ride the Lightning. But the whole theory that, Dave used to say, like, what are they going to do when they run out of my riffs? I think they were just fine without Dave Mustaine's riffs.
Yeah. Now maybe they wouldn't have had such a good kickstart at the beginning. And
True.
Maybe they wouldn't have gotten, because by the time the end of the Ride the Lightning era, I mean, they were already a pretty big thrash metal band.
True.
Maybe
we do. Maybe we do owe it all to Dave.
Maybe we do. I mean,
hello me.
Hello me. Hello me. I never joined the band. What if?
Hello me. It's what if again. Oh boy.
No, that is a really good question. I mean, I think they would have been fine. I mean, Hetfield obviously has had a plethora of amazing riffs in his career. Maybe a little bit slower of a start back then. Maybe they would have found someone else that didn't write as cool stuff. But you got to also think too. I mean, Hetfield still wrote the majority of the stuff on the first two records.
Yeah, and the lyrics too. I mean, the only lyrics I'm aware of that Dave wrote was the lyrics to the Mechanics, which I actually think suck. So
yeah, I don't think it's that great. Four Horsemen is much better.
I agree.
All right, next one is UJJ Watalica 182. Awesome episode. So many what if scenarios. Thanks for reading both my comments. We'll definitely love to be a fan caller for an episode sometime in the future. We would love to have you call in, and we are very shortly here going to be sussing that out and making it happen.
It's coming, bro.
It is very much so coming. So keep looking forward to that. Last one I'm going to read here from the forums is from Ferox, or I think we pronounced this before, Faro.
Faro.
Hello, Faro.
Hello, Faro.
I think you're stealing the spotlight from me, Dave. I think you left the band a long time ago.
There's not enough room for Torben and Dave in the same room, dude.
There might have to be an episode that's hosted by Torben and Dave.
Hello, Torben.
Hello, Dave. Meet the real me and don't delete it.
Oh my God.
All right, so from Ferox, great episode as always, guys. I enjoyed it. But what kind of pizza do you guys have in the fridge, and what style is it? I'm a cheese only kind of guy who grew up in New Jersey, so the New York style is the way to go. I kind of agree. I don't like Chicago style pizza. New York style is much better. Seriously though, keep it up. Each episode has been a welcome Monday afternoon drive home from work. From work sort of tradition. I think you missed a word there. From the work sort of tradition, whatever. You're listening to our podcast on Mondays after work. That's
very
awesome.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. And I guess if I had to choose what kind of pizza I'd like, well, I don't eat dairy, so I usually go for a vegan pizza. Diet cheese is the brand of my choice.
Well, it's because I think on the last episode I said that our pizza's in the fridge.
Right. Yes.
You can come take a slice. I think the pizza is made out of just straight up metal. It's steel pizza.
It's a steel pizza, yeah. Some metal shavings on top.
Hello, pizza.
All right, now you're stretching.
Oh my God! All right,
is it pizza?
Is it?
It's your turn to read some stuff from. Hello, Clint. Please read the next portion.
Oh Lord. Okay, so from Phil Rister. Just finished listening to this one. I'm not sure which one that is. Great show. Can't wait for the next one. Made this Nashville traffic bearable the past couple of days. Oh, we have a Nashville listener.
Yeah. We've had a couple now. There's was one dude, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was out in West Nashville that he was really stoked that we did the podcast in Nashville. So yeah, I let him know we do it over in East Nashville in my home studio, and that gave him a heads up about some hopefully live events we're going to do soon.
Should you talk about the metal night you went to last night that we're thinking about doing some episodes at?
That would be really cool. I want to get your opinion when you come to Metal Night when you get back into town, because it might be a little tough to do like a live episode. I don't know if you've been to Melrose Billiards, but it's a pretty big place.
I have. It's loud, right?
It's loud, which is awesome for Metal Night. I mean, like the second I walked in, like Master of Puppets was playing, and it was great. And they played like Slayer, Sepultura, like Meshuggah, all this good stuff. And it's pretty cranked. So it's a good time. Basically, through some friends that are in Demon Hunter, my old band, they invited me down. I went last night. I posted a couple stories on Instagram, not enough, but I was having that good a time where I just forgot. But it's pretty simple. You just go down there. They got beer specials. The Iron Maiden Trooper beer is half off, which is great.
How much is it when it's half off though?
It's like $4, I think.
It's like $75.
It's like $75. Yeah, they only give out 2 per night. But no, it was a good time. It was like cheap drinks. They've got free popcorn, which is amazing. Yeah, I'm always a fan of that. Good food there. A bunch of pool tables, ping pong, shuffleboard. So pretty much it's just a bunch of people that love metal sitting around drinking beer, playing pool, and listening to music.
So Phil Rister, you should come hang with us one night if we ever do. Even if we just go hang up there, it'd be fun to talk to some fans.
Yeah,
if we're not doing an episode.
I'm planning on going next Monday. So when this episode comes out, it'll be tonight.
Good job on the timeline.
You like that? That's math.
I like it. Yeah, that's math.
It's called math.
That's math, motherfucker.
Hello, math.
Oh, now who's doing it? I was going to take a break from it for at least 3 minutes, but I do feel like that's going to be the thread of the episode.
Yeah, totally. We're going to get a lot of feedback on Dave's appearance.
Hello, feedback.
Oh,
okay, so Guitar Man 122508 says, great episode, guys, really entertaining stuff, and it was cool having my questions read on the air. We're happy to do that. Anytime you guys write in, we're stoked to read it on air. He says, I should mention that you two are bad influence on me, as I've impulse purchased not 1 but 3 things as a result of listening to your show.
Really? What?
He says, well, he doesn't elaborate. He says, I was moments away from pulling the trigger on the Record Store Day reissue cassette of No Life to Leather, but I managed to convince myself to wait till payday. In all seriousness, I thoroughly enjoy hearing you guys talk Metallica. None of my friends are as into the band as I am, and it's nice being able to geek out with other people once a week. Looking forward to the next episode. Very cool.
Very cool. So he is planning on buying the Record Store Day re-release of No Life to Leather.
But it sounds like he has made 3 purchases.
Yeah, what are the other 2?
I'm gonna guess.
An ESP Explorer.
ESP
only $4,500.
No, the ESP Snakebite, which is like $2,400. Not the LTD one, the ESP one.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I've mentioned on the show, I'm fucking obsessed with that guitar. I'm gonna get the white one first, and then I'm gonna get the black one. Yeah, I want both. I gotta have both. None of the music I make in my.
Do you think you could get? We could get ESP/LTD to sponsor the podcast? Maybe hook us up a little bit.
I'll do anything they ask of me if they will give me a Snakebite guitar.
Listen, we'll do whatever you want. We'll say what you want. We'll even do our Dave Mustaine and Torben impression. We just want a couple snake bites.
I'll start a goddamn ESP podcast if they'll give me a fucking snakebite.
You're on your own there. I already got 2 podcasts to manage.
TJ Mower says, great episode as always. Thanks, guys. Short and sweet.
Hey, I back that. That's cool.
I like it.
Hey, you're welcome.
You're welcome, homie. Zautus, which I feel like we have to always read as black metal. Zautus says...
Sorry, I had to do the high voice.
Zautus says, essential listening for my commute home today. We have a lot of commuters who are listening.
Hey, I do the same. When I run a lot of errands and I'm not going to be home for a few hours, Podcast City in my car.
Do you think maybe we're keeping people from like murdering other drivers through road rage?
Maybe.
Do you think we're saving lives?
I hope we're saving lives. I mean, I hope that people at least I'd say we haven't gotten enough feedback yet where people are so angry at a podcast that they would cause road rage and maybe an accident and hurt somebody. I feel like most of the people are enjoying it and they're maybe driving safer because of it.
I also like to believe that. I'm going to choose that path.
I'm going to choose that path too.
BMetal112476 says, this was a great episode. Again, I'm not really sure if he means I don't know which episode he's talking about. I know I've asked you guys about doing a podcast on Metallica's live rig, but after hearing the show at Lollapalooza, which they just played in Brazil at the Brazilapalooza, whatever they call it.
It's called Lollapalooza.
It's just called Lollapalooza.
It's just called Lollapalooza, Brazil. They did the one in Sao Paulo, which I've actually done. So.
Okay. You played one?
Oh, wait, did they do Sao Paulo? Yeah, I think it was Sao Paulo. Yeah, I played one.
Look at you. With Kings?
Look at me. With Kings.
He says, I'd really like you guys' opinion on their live guitar sound. To me, it sounds very mid-range, muddy, and lacks power/grunge. I just can't understand why, being the heavy band they are, they would choose that horrible live sound. Wow, that's interesting.
I wouldn't say that it's horrible. I think it's improved in the last couple of years. I do know that they are on, I believe, Fractals, which if you non-gearheads out there don't know, they're basically not using actual amplifiers.
They're using like tone print.
Yeah, it's like amp modeling in a way,
which is pretty sophisticated too. And
it's very sophisticated. Yeah.
What I've seen that they've done is they've actually had. I'm sure they didn't do it. I'm sure they had their slaves do it, but they actually have people that are going and matching actual sounds to actual records using their original boogies and. Yep. So
yeah, you can take what's called it's basically an impulse response, a digital image. I don't know how else to explain it, but you can run frequencies through like Hetfield's old Mesa or Marshall or whatever, and they can take an image of that and recreate it in these rigs. So it is a very sophisticated rig. I've actually seen them in person, seen them in action, and it's pretty damn convincing. Now you can also run them through guitar cabinets, so
cabs,
it sounds.
And they have cabs on stage. They're likely dummy cabs, but
they're probably not. Or there might be sound coming through them, but they're probably not mic'd up. It might just be for just ambience on the stage. But I think there's definitely like some room for improvement on certain guitar tones. I saw a clip of Halo on Fire from this show. He's speaking of the Lollapalooza show, and it sounded great.
I agree. I mean. I think they sound pretty kick-ass. And
yeah,
if anything,
clean tones I would if I could get in there and tweak it a little bit. I would dirty up the clean tones a touch, especially Kirk's.
But I've never liked their clean tone. I've never really liked that chorusy. Oh God, especially with Kirk. I mean, but it is kind of
the chorusy thing is weird.
But it is kind of just the sound of them, you know. And I guarantee you, when they modeled that clean tone, they used that Roland jazz clean thing that they've been using since like the 1700s. So. But we are going to do an entire episode dedicated to the gear, so that is a good idea. Like that's going to be a fun episode.
Yeah, it will. I think that's also going to be one that will, at least on our end, will be one of the more researched ones, because there's a lot of different eras of gear and stuff like that.
It'll just be me talking about the white snake bite the whole time.
Yeah, and I'll talk about the black snake bite.
All right, so moving on. Geek Out says the pronunciation of usernames has now tied Torben as my favorite feature of the show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so great to be here and be wanted.
It is fun. It is like trying to guess how to pronounce a lot of these names. It's like very hit or miss.
Yeah, it is tough. We're not. It's nothing personal, you guys.
Definitely not personal.
No, but you know, some of them. There's just I'm just glancing down at a couple right now. It's like, what?
Yeah, some of them make literally zero phonetic sense. So
yeah, we did get a comment from somebody. I think it was on the forum, who had a lot of numbers in their name, and I think it was. I'm probably going to be wrong on this one, but it was something like the date they got into Metallica, or the date of
cool,
something like that. So, but we're reading them all spread out, and it sounds like we're just going 1, 2, 8, 4, 6, 5, 2 says. Was that your last one? You got something else to read?
You're up next.
Am I up? All right, cool. I'm reading some stuff from Reddit. This is from Spiderby.
Okay.
He said, "That was awesome, guys." I assume he means an episode. This is actually the first podcast I've ever listened to, and I really enjoyed it. It made me laugh a couple times too. I must check out earlier episodes. By the way, you guys talk fast.
Do we talk fast?
I don't know. I mean, I've definitely heard that from other people, that maybe it's because I'm from Southern California and I talk a little fast. I feel like I normally don't, but when you and I get going on stuff like this, then I feel like it just starts to roll out.
It also might be the just sort of like Scarface amount of cocaine we snort before every episode.
We snort so much cocaine before the show.
God, we love cocaine, but we just love it.
And And by love, I mean I've never tried it myself.
That is cool.
I love scenes in 80s movies with cocaine because it just seems so filthy.
It is cool that this is the first podcast that dude's ever listened to.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Thanks, man.
We've set the bar somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure
high
how
or low. How high or low, I don't know.
Yeah, but for him, let's just say it's high, and he's hopefully he'll just listen to shittier podcasts after this. So ours is still the best.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Just from now on, just listen to the shittiest podcast in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Just find the worst quality sounding one about the most boring topic that does not interest you, and ours will always be better.
Megadeth.
If you really want to make sure that Metal Up Your Podcast is the go-to podcast for you, make sure you listen to Hello Me.
Hello.
It's my podcast again.
Hello podcast.
You could call it Hello Podcast.
Hello podcast.
Hello Podcast. It's podcast again.
Dude, I'm not even kidding you. I actually feel like that's kind of a killer title for a podcast.
Hello Podcast.
Hello podcast. But not even read like David Mustaine, just like welcome to Hello Podcast, dude.
Or or the long one. Hello Podcast. It's podcast again.
Hello Podcast. It's podcast again. Hello Podcast. It's the real podcast. Oh my God, we're gonna get mail about this shit. I know it.
I know, totally. It's totally fine. Bring it on. We'll read it.
Bring it.
All right, the next one, Hasamimi. I think we've had something from this person before.
Well, do you know who that is? That's Samim.
Oh, Samim. That's right.
What up, Samim?
What up, Samim? How you doing, bud?
Send us a new letter.
We need another letter. Our letters from Samim segment needs to continue.
It's dying on the vine, bro.
And for those that are newer listeners, Samim was actually the very first person to send us an email.
Our very first email. He will forever have a special place in the legendary status of Metal Up Your Podcast.
Yeah. He's a fifth member, so to speak. All right. So first of all, Samim, change your screen name to Samim because I don't want to forget this again. But this is awesome. It's short and sweet. It says, "Damn, it's already episode 14. Time flies."
Dude, I feel the same way, man.
I know. We're still under 3 months, which is crazy.
You know, we're at almost 4,000 listens this month.
I know, it's crazy, and we're about to hit 10,000.
So cool, man.
That's insane, and we have all of you to thank. This is crazy.
We're so grateful. Yeah. All right, is that it on that?
I got one more.
God.
I know. I'm sorry. This is from Blad 514 or 514. I just discovered the podcast this week, and I'm up to the Cliff Burton episode, and I'm really liking the show. You guys were talking about Saint Anger, the song, and how it references earlier songs. I just wanted to point out that the lyric, "I hit the lights on these dark sets, not toxins."
Oh.
Did we say toxins?
I definitely have thought that my whole life.
And he said, "Are you guys going to be at the St. Louis show?" We considered that one. I think it's not confirmed, but it looks like we're going to be at the Atlanta show.
Right. But I think but you're flying home from Europe that day.
Yeah, but I'm still going to try to work it out.
Okay.
I'm supposed to fly home from Europe that day, which I would normally obviously fly to Nashville, but if I can fly to Atlanta, and because, coming from Europe, I'd be leaving, I'd be landing. Normally, from Europe, I land on a layover at noonish, be home by 5 or whatever after a layover. So, if I can work it out where I can fly from the last show of that tour to Atlanta around lunchtime, and you pick me up, I will rally and drink my ass off and go straight to the Metallica show.
In the
parking lot.
I think it'll be fun. And we actually have some cool stuff in the works for that Atlanta show. We may be getting one of the VIP packages. We don't know yet, so we're not sure. What I think is really exciting is I think next year, because another fan reached out and asked if we were going to do like a Metal Up Your Podcast pregame at a bar.
Yeah,
and I think there's a rumor that the boys are going to do an arena tour next year. What would be really cool, because obviously it's going to be a year later in the podcast, it's going to be more established. Right. It would be fun to do a straight up meet up, Metal Up Your Podcast, hang at a bar. But that'll probably be next year.
Absolutely, yeah, and hopefully,
and we'll do multiple shows probably.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so happy to do multiple shows. But yeah, I think the Atlanta meetup you're referencing, one of the guys from one of the Metallica fan club chapters in Chattanooga. Mm-hmm. Which is called the Frayed Ends of Tennessee, which is a great name. he was the one that mentioned that there was a big meetup happening before the Atlanta show that he's going to be at, and different people from the forums and stuff like that. So I don't think if we're at the Atlanta show, I don't think we'll be necessarily hitting that up unless it's early enough. But we're going to do. Our plan is to hopefully do like a tailgate episode from the back of our car and hang out with fans as they're walking into the show.
Yeah, it's gonna be so rad.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have my battle jacket just full of Metal Up Your Podcast patches. Look for the guy with 37 Metal Up Your Podcast patches.
And that's Clint.
And that'll be me. That's Clint. Is it me now?
Yeah, you're up, man. It's your
okay.
turn.
Which, by the way, Ethan and I are recording this episode remotely, so we're doing this through FaceTime. So
that's why we're doing. Oh, it's your turn.
We're a little staggered on reading these.
Clint, where are you, by the way?
I am in. Where are we, Brad?
Somewhere in South Carolina.
We're somewhere in South Carolina. We are
that
on.
Sounds good.
We're on day. What day are we on? Oh God, he doesn't even know.
Hey, Brad.
Ethan says, "Hey." The drummer in our band, who's like my best friend of all time, we room together, and he's just sitting back there, like probably watching pornography. But
we're only listening to your side of the podcast.
We're at the point of the tour where just like we've just lost all sense of compass. I don't know how long we've been here. I don't know how much longer we have. I don't know where we are.
We've only been gone for like 2 weeks.
But you know how that goes, man.
Oh, of course.
2 weeks feels like forever.
Totally.
So anyway, we're recording this remotely, so we're a little sloppier than normal.
Yeah, so, I'm at home in Nashville right now, but yeah, I'm at Metal Up Your Podcast HQ, aka my house.
Hell yeah, you are.
Yeah, man.
It does kind of look like HQ though, because you got a bunch of just bitchin' gear everywhere. I wish we need to show fans more. Here's the deal, dudes. Come follow us on Instagram. We do these little like videos and like stories of Ethan's studio, which we affectionately now call Metal Up Your Podcast HQ. And it's a fucking cool little room.
Yeah, it's basically a one car garage that I turned into my studio, and there's got drum set up, keys set up.
You got a wall,
everywhere.
You got a wall of amps, a wall of guitars, your drums. It's so cool.
I've got a Metallica banner that someone gave me who was doing promo for Death Magnetic back in 2008.
Look at you, bro.
It's bitchin', and it's rad. It's just like kind of shittily stenciled, and it says Metallica September.
I wouldn't call it shittily.
I mean shittily in a good way.
Yeah, it's charming.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to emails, which, by the way, as we've said, we're just going to keep hammering this in. The most direct way to interact with Ethan and I, and you guys are definitely doing it, is through email, metalupyourpodcastshow@gmail.com.
Yep.
A lot of you are sharing kind of your Metallica story, which is so fucking cool. We can't really read a ton of that on the show, but I did.
But we do read it.
I know that, and I know you feel the same way. As like, I love reading that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we respond to all of it.
Yeah, sometimes you might get 2 responses because like I'll open my email and Clint had already responded, but I won't notice and I'll respond too. So we're not confused. Well, we are confused, but we just care.
We are confused that's unrelated. All right, so we're gonna go into email world a little bit. So Kevin Van Dam, I'm reading right now, right?
Yes, it's
okay. Kevin Van Dam writes, "Gents, again with the gentleman stuff."
Thank you.
All right,
we're gentlemen.
Thank you, Saya. Randomly typed in Metallica into my Overcast app and spotted you guys. I just listened to the first episode and loved it. You've got another dedicated listener now, though I'm sure you have many. And if you guys are ever in West Nashville, I'll buy you a beer or two. Oh, that's the dude.
That's the dude I was referencing earlier. Yeah, I responded to that email. Yeah,
very cool.
Very cool.
Rennie Reinders?
Here we go.
Rennie Reinders says, "Hey guys, my name is Rennie from Bulgaria, and I'm almost caught up with your awesome podcast. I have the What If episode left. Well, you're gonna love that one, bro."
Bulgaria.
I honestly
think about that for a second. We have a fan in Bulgaria.
I don't know where Bulgaria is.
It's far away.
Is it in Japan?
Yes, it's in Japan.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Actually, I think it's in New Jersey.
Oh, it's Jersey, yeah. Where was our Polish fan that we said from Poland, New Jersey?
Poland, New Jersey?
Just everything we don't know is just New Jersey.
It's New Jersey, yeah.
So he says he's almost caught up on the What If episode. "I really love your show, and I'm so happy that someone is doing this. I have literally no one to talk to about Metallica, and now I feel like I finally have a couple of cool Metallica friends." Dude, that is a theme, man. Like, a lot of our listeners don't have a lot of buds to riff on this shit with.
I mean, I will say I have friends that I can talk to Metallica about, but not a ton.
But it makes me just feel really lucky that we have like Paul and Brad and our friend Matthew Mayfield. Like, I feel like I got some buds I can do it with.
Oh yeah, I've got at least like 5 or 6 people that like I could talk to about this kind of stuff at the depth that we do on this podcast.
I've got at least like 46 friends I can talk to about this. So
wow, you're cool.
He says,
Clint, you've got a lot of friends.
Hello, me. He goes on to say, just wanted to say I love what you do, keep going, and I'm glad you're also very keen on continuing and giving the fans even more. Hell yeah, fuck yeah.
Of course, yeah. We're going to keep this going as long as we can.
That shit's only going to ramp up. And then he goes on to say, don't worry about the mistakes. It can always happen. You can quickly turn them into something fun, which is great. Altogether, you rock, and I love listening to you.
Wow, is that guy like an elementary school teacher? That sounds like something you'd encourage a kid with.
I think it's like actually Mr. Rogers.
It's totally Mr. Rogers from the dead.
Everyone loves you. You're doing a fine job.
Yeah. And you know what? This is the most metal neighborhood you're going to find.
Welcome to the metal neighborhood. Brady Trantham writes, keep up the great work, guys. Love working out Monday mornings listening to Metallica chats. Love the show. So we got an athletic, physically fit person listening. That's good. That makes
good for you. I'm on my 4th beer right now. So many calories.
He says, P.S. Thanks for mentioning my pod on the show, which this is the dude whose podcast we didn't know what it was. He does the Oklahoma thing.
Yeah, the Oklahoma City Thunder podcast.
So I actually looked it up. I did some thorough research for this motherfucker. His podcast is called Thunder Digest.
Thunder Digest, okay.
And what is it again? What is it? It's the basketball
Oklahoma
team?
City Thunder basketball team. They formerly the Seattle Supersonics.
So if we have any listeners who dig basketball and live in Oklahoma, go check out Thunder Digest. Our friend Brady does that. Blake Talica, who's actually this is the Chattanooga Freight Ends of Tennessee guy, by the way.
Yep, yeah.
Hey guys, Blake Talica here from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm the chapter head, how do you become the chapter head of a local Metallica thing?
I mean, does that mean that we could start a chapter in Nashville? Or is it just by state? You can only have one.
A follow-up question. If we started the chapter in Nashville, do we have to then battle to the death the Chattanooga chapter? Because I don't want that. I don't need that in my life.
I don't want that either.
I'll do it. I'll do it. But
oh, I'm down. I mean, I think if we had to battle, I think we'd have to meet like in Lynchburg where Jack Daniels is. Like drink a whole bottle of Jack Daniels, crack it over like a brick wall, and start stabbing each other. And
Jesus.
Sorry, too dark?
No, again, I'm down.
You know what, Blake Talica? Bring it.
Blake Talica says, I have a question suggestion for you guys. What if you guys did an entire show on the Orion Music Festival and more festivals that Metallica did? I was at both years, which he went to Atlantic City and Detroit, I'm supposing.
That's amazing.
And as a very big Metallica fan, I've never had more fun at the festival. Thanks for the pre-Metallica talk. We're definitely doing an episode on Orion Fest because neither Ethan or I got to go, but I was kind of offline when all that was happening, and it looked so fucking bitchin'. I wish. Oh
man, I wish. I'm super jealous of Blake Talica. He got to go
because the Dahan thing, and then they played Ride the Lightning in its entirety too.
Yeah,
like they did some cool stuff, and the lineups were like super diverse. Like they had like Eric Church was at one of them.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, one of my favorite bands of all time, Rocket from the Crypt, played, and like I remember when James Hetfield was still active on Instagram as Papa Het.
Mm-hmm.
Like during the Orion Festival, he was posting stuff like hiding tickets around Detroit and like posting a photo with the guys from Rocket from the Crypt, and it was like he was a fan too. Like it wasn't just like a metal festival.
No, I think I read somewhere James said like they wanted to have an entire bill of people who they felt like were like pushing the frontiers of music and in whatever genre they were prominent in.
That's awesome. Well, and choosing a band like Rocket from the Crypt is amazing because they've been a band since like '94.
I feel like the feeling I get from what I see about those dudes is that they're still music lovers. Like they're still looking like there's all kinds of like stories about like when Volbeat's been opening before or Avenged Sevenfold, like James will be out in the front of the house with a hoodie on. Yeah. You know, checking it out, you know?
Yeah, I think, I think, at the very least, I think him and probably Trujillo are the kind of guys that will go watch other bands at festivals and stuff.
Well, probably Lars too, man. We'll leave Lars out of that.
I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't do that. I'm just saying I have no information to back it up. I've got nothing on it.
You just got your feelings.
I have my feelings.
I support your feelings.
I love Lars. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dogging Lars. I'm just saying maybe he doesn't want to go watch a punk rock band on the side stage.
Well, I can speak for myself, and I know I don't. So
I've been a lot of festivals, as you have in my career, and when you're at so many of these festivals, it's usually one of the last things you want to do. Like, let's go watch bands. But there are there are many exceptions. For instance, I remember being at a festival in Brussels, and there wasn't that many bands I really cared to see that day. But then I don't know if you're into Charles Bradley.
Oh yeah,
soul singer. I'd just gotten into him a few months before that.
Did he pass away?
No, he's still going.
Okay,
that would you might be thinking of Sharon Jones.
Okay, right on.
Same label, but I remember like grabbing our drum tech, and I was like, "You have to come watch this guy. It's one of those life-changing live shows."
I'm always one of those dudes in my bunk, and all the dudes are like, "Man, we're gonna go check out whatever," and I'm like, "I'm gonna watch Eraserhead again." Do you have some? So you're gonna finish up the emails, and then we're gonna get on to our top tens.
Yep, I've got a couple emails left to read here. This one's from Billy Hardaway. Just discovered the podcast. Great stuff. I'm 3 episodes in. Love hearing you younger guys talk about how you got into the band years in.
Ooh, we're young.
Yeah, we're young guys. Instead of at the beginning like me, I was lucky enough to have seen Metallica open for Stryper.
To hell with the devil!
Back then called Rock's Regime at the Whiskey in LA back in the day. Thought they were horrible at talking about Metallica.
Wow.
Until I heard Ride the Lightning. I heard the Ride the Lightning album. Then I really started getting into them, and they said, "Talk later."
Wow, very, very cool and strange.
I replied to him, and I mean, I was kind of blown away. Like, he saw Metallica opening for Stryper. For those of you who don't know, they're like one of the more popular like Christian '80s metal bands that were around back then. It was
like Petra and Stryper.
Yeah, Stryper, the Yellow and Black Attack, man.
The Yellow, dude. To hell with the devil, man. I still know that song.
Yeah, I mean, what a cool story. I mean,
that is great, man.
Even for us youngsters, to get an email like this is very cool. To converse with somebody who saw Metallica opening for anybody, let alone Stryper at the freaking Whiskey in LA. And I'm from Southern California. I've been to the Whiskey numerous times, and that's amazing. And
I like his courage to admit that he thought they were horrible.
Hey, I appreciate his honesty.
Dude, I think part of being, soapbox bullshit, but I think part of being a fan of anything is being honest about how you feel about it, right?
Totally. I think we'll get into some of that on our top 10 coming up here.
Okay. Do you have more?
Yeah, we got a couple more here. These are pretty short. Mike Kidwell says, "Hey," and then dash space. So I take that as hey.
Hey.
I'm trying to find on your site where I can send you a few bucks and support the show, but I don't see a link. I'm only 10 episodes in, so maybe you decided to take it down, but if not, let me know where I can support you fellas.
That's so cool.
Well, there is technically it's not visible. There is a way on metalupyourpodcast.com to donate through Simplecast.
But let's just not do that, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's somewhat direct, but we decided to go with Patreon, which is what a lot of podcasters do. It's kind of set up similar to a Kickstarter kind of thing, but you're not, you have monthly goals, whatever. There's different tiers you can donate to with cool perks and stuff. So if you want to donate, it is patreon.com/metalupyourpodcast. Like we said earlier, you can go on there, read through all the tiers of things we're doing. So that's the best way. Or you can just send us cash.
Or you can just write a cashier's check.
Yeah, send us a money order.
Send us a money order. We'll honor it.
Just go to Western Union.
You can wire it to us.
Yeah, wire. That's how it's the only way we accept donations is to wire us money. Cool. A couple more here, and we'll get going. I'm not going to read this whole thing because for privacy's sake, I guess it's like a full email address.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that was my bad.
I just don't want to, don't want to infringe on someone's privacy. But the first part of it is Tho things, THO things.
Tho things.
Tho things. Does that mean so sings?
So sing. So sings. Is that Torben saying those things?
So sings. I think it is.
I think it is.
Hey guys, fan of the show here. Been tuning in since episode 1, and I'm loving the series. Keep them coming.
Oh, very cool. We definitely will.
Oh, yeah. The next one, Eric Thomas says, hey, guys, kind of off topic, but I just wanted to drop you a line to say great job with sound quality. I listen to a fair amount of podcasts, and the quality can be hit or miss sometimes. As an aside, Clint, has anyone ever told you your voice sounds a bit like Nikki Sixx? That's not to say that's good or bad, just something that caught my ear.
Definitely no one has ever told me I sounded like Nikki Sixx. That in my mind, this is what Nikki Sixx sounds like. Hey, man, I'm Nikki Sixx, man.
Lots of mans at the end of sentences.
I would kickstart your heart, man. That's in my mind. I don't know what he sounds like when he talks.
I love that you called it kickstart your heart.
Or whatever. I almost died. I died once, and I wrote a song about it called Kickstart Your Heart.
Because I was dead, and I was looking at your heart, which was me.
Hello, me. It's Nikki Sixx again.
Hello, me. Kickstart my heart. Maybe you should do a bumper ad as Nikki Sixx to listen to Metal Up Your Podcast.
Okay, well, sure. You don't have to twist my arm. Well, according to Eric Thomas here, all I have to do is just be myself.
Exactly.
Because I already sound like him. I'm like his doppelganger, bro.
Yeah, man.
All right, so that concludes our longest fan portion ever.
Fan intro. Yeah.
All right, so Ethan and I have sequenced our records from 10 to 1, and we're going to do them from 10 to 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, who's going to go first?
I just finished the email, so I think you should go first.
All right. So, unlike our top 10 songs and top 10 deep cuts, I think those are sort of subject to change, right?
Sure, yeah.
I do not think these are likely to change.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay, all right.
Now, I'm not saying it's going to change drastically.
You're telling me Saint Anger is going to be your favorite record in 6 months?
I mean, it's not impossible.
Oh, that's impossible.
Just kidding. It's impossible.
That's the definition of impossible.
No, this. I think one or two from time to time can change order.
Okay.
And I'll explain as we go through. But
all right.
I think you should go first.
Okay, I'll go first. My number 10 is Saint Anger.
Really?
It's not going to be shocking to any of our listeners.
No, you're kidding.
You know what? Over the last few weeks, I think even while I've been on tour, I've actually watched the documentary twice. Just because I think the documentary, I mean, we've talked about it, but I think the documentary is so fucking killer. Yeah. And when you watch it, it does sort of inspire you to want to go check out the tunes maybe. And
Every time it does.
And I've sort of done it, Yeah. And there's no new revelation. Here's the deal. It sounds bad. The songs are long and meandery. The lyrics aren't great. And for a band like Metallica, that's one of the greatest bands that's ever roamed the earth, it's just sort of straight up unacceptable. Yeah, that's sort of the hard line I take on it, man.
Yeah,
I
can't disagree with you.
I think Frantic's kind of cool. I think I like the edit of Some Kind of Monster that's shorter with normal drums.
Yeah, and
there's sort of a suggestion of what it could be. But in terms of, dude, we're talking about fucking Metallica, dude. We're not talking about. I mean, we're talking about one of the coolest bands in the world. This record sucks. It's just.
Yeah, it sucks.
I know we have a lot of listeners who disagree and whatever. I don't want to butthurt them. We're all on the ride. We're all at the pizza buffet taking different slices of shit.
I love you always go back to pizza.
I just have to analogize everything to pizza, which
we're all at Chuck E. Cheese.
Dude, we're all at CC's Pizza. There's the $5 eat all you can buffet.
Saint Anger is the animatronic version of.
Well, you know what I used to say when I was in high school when it came out? Because, I mean, dude, straight up, I was a dude who camped out at the record store the day it was released.
Yeah.
And put it in my car and, burnt Frantic down and was like, oh, my God, what is this? And, maybe it'll get better. And then just as Some Kind of Monster and Saint Anger title track burnt on, I was like, oh, my God, this is just.
You're no. And
a lot of the defense of it is well, it's just an honest snapshot of where they were. Well, I agree with that. It is an honest snapshot of where they were. But where they were was in a spot where it was the greatest band in the world making one of the shittiest records ever heard on the planet. So I don't want to bum anyone out, but I take a hard line on it. All right, I'm sorry. Number 9, and this is where it starts actually really getting tough, because from 9 on, I actually really like all these records.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to interrupt. You continue.
But you know what I mean? We're talking 10 records here, and this is one of my favorite bands of all time, so this is kind of tough. Number 9, Kill 'Em All.
Wow.
I know I'm betraying all of our like hardcore thrash
there's
fans.
No betrayal. No betrayal. I didn't expect that from you at number 9.
What'd you think my number 9 would be? What'd you think it would be?
I thought it was going to be Death Magnetic.
Oh.
Did you forget to include Death Magnetic?
Wait, I did.
Did you really?
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, what the hell? Did I put one twice?
Clint.
I put puppets on it twice. Accidentally.
You put puppets twice?
Well, dude, we agreed to do this. For our listeners, we agreed to do this like super last minute because I'm on the road and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I actually wrote it twice. I meant to put that. So my number 8 is Death Magnetic.
Okay,
so you weren't that far off.
So 10 is Saint Anger, 9 Kill 'Em All, 8 is Death Magnetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's hard for that to be number 8 because I think Death Magnetic kicks ass. But here's what I'll say about Death Magnetic. I love That Was Just Your Life. I love The End of the Line. I love The Day That Never Comes. Every other song I just sort of like. And it's very rare that I listen to that record top to bottom.
Man, All Nightmare Long is so good.
I think All Nightmare Long is kind of cool. I think Unforgiven 3 is cool. I like Suicide and Redemption. But it's just, dude, I mean, these dudes have made some great records, man. So it's just that's just my sauce. That's my flavor. That's my flavor.
This is your list.
And let me say this about Kill 'Em All. In fact, I maybe should have reversed the order of Kill 'Em All and Death Magnetic because anytime I do listen to Kill 'Em All, I do listen to the whole thing.
Okay.
Like I'm always pleasantly surprised by No Remorse and Phantom Lord. I just, there's something really special about it. Death Magnetic.
Do you want to switch them now before we move on?
Yeah, let's go and switch them. Saint Anger number 10, obviously. Number 9, Death Magnetic, which pains me to say because it was their sort of return to form thrash. Yeah. I mean, I really can't articulate how relieved I was when I fucking put the needle down on that record in 2008. Yeah. But that has a lot to do with how terrible Saint Anger was. So number 9, Death Magnetic. Number 8, Kill 'Em All. Number 7, and this is going to probably bum you out too, Hardwired.
That doesn't bum me out.
Okay,
no, it's still fresh in the mind. I mean,
it's so good, but it's
so good.
We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time.
It's a longevity thing. Like that record came out in November. It's March right now.
But Dream No More made my top 10. Which I do have to say a couple months later from that or whatever, how far we are. I might replace Dream No More with Halo on Fire.
Halo on Fire is one of my favorite songs.
I think it might be one of the best songs they've ever written.
Yeah.
Okay.
When James goes into the chorus and does that, that loud, oh dude, it's so good.
Halo
it gave me
Fire.
chills. It gave me chills when I first heard it.
Yeah, I agree. It's massive. Okay, so number 6, Puppets.
Number 6, Puppets. Okay,
number 6 is Puppets, and my jams on Puppets really are Master of Puppets, Thing That Should Not Be, and Disposable Heroes.
Great song.
I like Sanitarium. I like Battery. But those are kind of my standouts. There are not enough standouts for me, personally.
Okay.
That's why it's number 6. Number 5, gotta give it up for motherfucking Load, dude.
Number 5 is Load. Okay.
Number 5 is Load.
I thought that was going to be higher.
I think some of our listeners thought Load might be higher. There is a little bit of redemption there at the top of my list. Number 4, the Black Album.
Okay. Solid placement.
Hard to fuck with that. Number 3, Reload.
Okay, Reload. Nice.
It's interesting. In the Metallica fandom, there's sort of like a strange relationship with Load and Reload where I would say the popular opinion is that Load is like great from those records and that Reload really sucks, which is confusing. It's confusing.
I disagree.
I do. Well, I do too. I mean, I do too. Reload's my 3rd favorite Metallica record. But the thing is, they're both culled from the same recording sessions. Like,
yeah.
It's the same flavor. It's almost like the track listing was arbitrary. It's the same sounds, the same time of the band. But I think the better songs are on Reload. I really do. It's a bit more experimental. It's a bit stranger, and that's what I like about it. Number 2, this is no surprise to any of our listeners, and Justice for All. And number 1, of course, Ride the Fucking Lightning.
Ride the Fucking Lightning.
Which was the alternate title of that record.
It was, yeah. That was the one that the Mustaine wanted to use, but he got kicked out, unfortunately. So
you were shocked that Load was 5. You thought Load might be higher. I just
thought it'd be a little higher. Yeah, I thought it was, because I know that like the Load Reload era was when you really came online with Metallica, and those records are very special to you. So I thought that's where you were kind of headed with that. But
well, I will say, just to reiterate, from number 9 on are records that I love and care about and think about and listen to. Saint Anger is really the only one that I distance myself from and I don't spend a lot of time with.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, let it be known that it's after Saint Anger, I love all these records. I mean, I was listening. I was doing some work today at the studio, and I mean, I was just sitting there, having my phone on the ground. I was putting a bunch of stuff in a roadcase rack, and I sat there and listened to all of Death Magnetic, and I was like, and I had downloaded like a remastered version, like a fan remaster, which you kind of have to do. I know they've remastered it for iTunes in recent years, but
is that one
really good?
Is the iTunes remaster worth a shit? I mean, is it better?
It sounds better than the original release. The original release, there was a lot of digital clipping, and I mean,
it's like almost unlistenable, right?
I wouldn't say unlistenable, but
like
it's brash. Especially if you're like an audio guy or you do recording or you're a musician, whatever, you will notice these things. And in general, I think the production isn't great.
I agree. Like, and the thing is, if you watch the Death Magnetic documentary, Rick Rubin's nowhere to be seen. He's in like 1 3-minute scene, and he's just laying on a couch saying, "That sounds good." Yeah. But Greg Fidelman, this dude who we've just come to adore in the Metallica family, which if you don't adore Greg Fidelman, then I don't understand where you're coming from. Like, what if Greg had just full on produced Death Magnetic, dude? Because Death Magnetic has no like doubled vocals. There's very few harmonies.
It's very dry. It sounds dry. It sounds like a good quality demo.
Yeah, it's like they were just trying to do Thrash City, but it's like they should have just put the Greg Fidelman touch on the vocals, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's still a really good record. I love it. There's really like, I don't know if there's even a full track skipper on that record for me, but
really,
yeah. But
That's
I'll
cool.
get into my list and you can see where it lands in the top 10.
All right, we're on to Ethan. So to recap, mine: number 10, Saint Anger; 9, Kill 'Em All, or 9, Death Magnetic; 8, Kill 'Em All; 7, Hardwired; 6, Puppets; 5, Load; 4, Black Album; 3, Reload; 2, Justice; 1, Ride.
The fucking lightning.
Ride the fucking lightning, bro.
Yeah.
Pound for pound, it's hard to fuck with that one.
It is really hard.
I know what your number 1 is, though.
Well, yeah, I knew what your number 1 was.
Okay.
This is also a fun episode to do because we're not in the same room, like peeking over at each other's lists right now.
I would not be doing that, but you would be doing. You're a peeker.
Oh, come on, I'm not a peeker. Fuck you. All right, can I please get to my list now?
Please. Starting with number 10. I'm curious. What's your number 10, Ethan?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's actually Saint Anger.
Really enunciated that T. It's Saint Anger.
Saint Anger. I think you kind of covered our feelings about it. I mean, mine are pretty much similar to yours. There's a couple good moments on the record, but there's nowhere else for this record to land for me other than number 10.
Do you think when we do our Saint Anger episode, and we have to, for the quality control of our beautiful podcast we've created, do you think that if you it's gorgeous, do you think if you really spend some time with it, do you think that there's like little nuggets to discover, or is it truly like foregone?
I mean I will proudly admit, just like that dude admitted that Metallica sucked when he saw him, but I will proudly admit that like I have gone through it, and there are some little good nuggets in there, but like
some good riffs, right?
There's some good riffs in there, but I think I've already listened to Hardwired to Self-Destruct way more than I have Saint Anger.
Dude,
hands down.
I agree. Like, if I really had to measure it, I would probably only listen to Saint Anger like 4 times, and it's been out for 14 years.
Yeah, I've listened to Lulu less.
Oh God, how about that Lulu episode?
I'm not looking forward to that one, everybody.
Dude, I've listened to Hardwired like 70 times. I mean,
I've listened to it so many times now.
It's fucking night and day.
Yeah, and we've talked about this, outside of recording episodes. We're gonna come back to Hardwired again, because even since our Hardwired episode, each of us have listened to it and digested it so much more. So we're gonna go back to that record at some point. So
what can we say? What olive branch can we extend to our listeners who truly love Saint Anger? Like, I don't feel like obligated to do that, but I want to, because it is subjective, right? And like,
of course,
we have some listeners who just, that's when they came online, right? So they've attached a lot of meaning to it.
They might have thought, oh, that's what every snare drum sounds like.
Every snare drum sounds like hitting a fucking dead rat from hell, which is how I would describe
a dead hollow rat.
A dead rat. Oh yeah, hollow rat from hell.
Well, I would say to those fans, you know what? God bless you. That's amazing.
God bless you.
if you can really listen to that record and be so stoked on it, I admire that. I just can't back it. Well, but I still respect you. Respect you all.
And like, you know, we have this open door policy. Like, write into us. Let us know what we're missing. Like, I would love for someone to like guide me through what's likable about that record. I haven't found it yet.
Yeah. I haven't either.
I sincerely doubt it even exists. But I wouldn't mind like a journey. You know, someone wants to like
totally
give me the map through it.
Guide us. All right, so back to my list.
Number 9. This is where it gets interesting for me because I knew what your number 10 would be.
Okay, so yeah, number 10 Saint Anger. Number 9, Load.
Oh God,
what?
Ethan.
God?
What?
Number 9 is Load.
Gosh,
you know that I'm finally. You're
coming around.
I was one of those Metallica fans that when like those records came out, other than like Fuel, Ain't My Bitch, Memory Remains, most of it I was like, ugh, gosh, this sucks. You know,
yeah.
Had I been able to see into the future and see Saint Anger, I felt like I would have been blessed by Load and Reload. But at the time when that was the only Metallica record, I didn't care for Load. But I have been diving into those records a ton lately.
Okay.
And when we'll get into that when we do a Load and Reload episode. But
do you just let me ask you something.
Okay.
Do you know what the last song on Load is? I'm just curious.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
The Outlaw Fixer.
Nailed it. The Outlaw Memory Remains.
You're going to be bummed, by the way, because my number 8 is Reload.
God damn it, dude. The 1-2 punch.
So it's a 1-2 punch, but this is what I was saying earlier as to why I feel that these could start to change a little bit.
Oh, I can't wait for the 1-year anniversary of this episode. Oh, yeah. How the tides will change.
Right, they might. My number 1, it won't be Load or Reload, but these could change.
Okay. I will say, man, I feel pain. I feel physical pain.
That's right. Hey, you
number
said
9 Load, number 8 Reload. God damn it.
Number 7, Death Magnetic.
Okay.
I love the record. Like I said, I listened to it today all the way through. Even repeated a couple songs. Like I love Unforgiven 3. I think it's a really well written song. All production aside and the absence of Rick Rubin aside, I think Hetfield did a great job on that song. There's a lot of good stuff in there. In your Unforgiven trilogy, I would imagine you go Unforgiven 1, Unforgiven 3, Unforgiven 2. Correct. All right. I nailed it. Nailed that, by the way. Nailed it. All right. You're on number 7? Number 6? That was number 7. Number 6, Hardwired Self-Destruct. Okay, cool. So I originally was thinking that would be down, not obviously on number 10, but I thought it'd be a little bit down the list. But you know what? It's a great fucking record, and I've been wearing it out like crazy the last few months. Me too, dude. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and go right to number 5 and say it's right below Kill 'Em All, because Kill 'Em All is number 5. Gosh, wow. But I feel like one of your flavors of our dynamic duo, if you will, is you do have like a taste for that early thrash thing. Sure. I do. And again, longevity. I mean, I came online during Justice for All. And immediately went back. And what's your favorite song of Kill 'Em All? Is it Seek and Destroy? No, it's not. I would say Four Horsemen or Metal Militia. Yeah. Wow, actually, you like Metal Militia? I love Metal Militia. That's like way deep. Kind of, but I mean, I like I said, when I got into them at a young age. Me and this guy named Aaron Watman, who's a good buddy of mine from the time we were in 6th grade, got into Metallica pretty much together, and we're obsessed with the first, 4 records. Yeah. It's all we listened to. And so all the first 4 records we were so obsessed with them that we knew every part of every record, every song, all this stuff. And yeah. So yeah, Kill 'Em All's, right there midway through the list. I back it, man. That's great. What's number 4 for you? Number 4, Ride the Lightning. Okay. That's number 4 for me. Okay. This is where I thought I felt even a little surprised at myself when I really thought about it. I was like, you know what? I back this list. So number 4, Ride the Lightning. Number 3, Black Album.
Solid. Hard to.
It's tough. It's tough. And I was a little torn, like Black Album, Ride the Lightning. Do I flip flop those? But you know what? I went with it. I back it. Black Album's number 3. Number 2, Justice for All.
Same as me.
Yep, that's the only one we had the same. And of course, number 1, Master of Puppets.
All right.
Which that's been known on a couple episodes. That's my favorite record. And
very cool.
Ride the Lightning.
Yep.
So yeah, to recap: number 10, Saint Anger; number 9, Load; number 8, Reload; number 7, Death Magnetic; number 6, Hardwired; number 5, Kill 'Em All; number 4, Ride the Lightning; number 3, Black Album; number 2, Justice for All; and number 1, Master of Puppets.
So our lists are kind of different. I mean, there's some different flavor in there, and the controversial sections kind of make sense with the trajectory of Metallica's career.
I didn't mean to offend you, Clint, with my Load and Reload placement.
I will be honest. I know that you're not super jazzed about those records, but it did. I was shocked by 9 and 8 being Load and Reload.
Yeah,
but only because you've been getting so stoked about those records lately.
I have, but I still had to go with my gut, man. But again, that could change.
I back it.
Talk to me in a year when we do this again.
I was actually thinking about our top 10 episodes, and more importantly, our top 10 deep cuts. And I do think those are going to be very different in 6 months, because you and I are just in the Metallica. We're in deep doing the show, yes. Right?
Totally.
So I mean, I even think about my choices for those songs and think about where I am now, just being even more immersed in it a month later or a month and a half later. And I think my answers would be different if we did them tonight. I
think so too. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, speaking of this top 10, order your favorite Metallica records. We want to hear from you fans to do the same thing as we did on the top 10 and top 10 deep cuts. Please write to us and tell us. Put your favorite Metallica records in order. And
if you can, sort of succinctly, maybe even sum up. Maybe not the whole. The middle ones aren't as important, but if your number 1 is Saint Anger, maybe a 1-sentence thing about why. Or if your number 10 is a Black Album, if you just fucking hate the Black Album. Shed some light on it. Keep it succinct. We're going to read them all on a subsequent episode.
Definitely. Yeah. And it seems that all of our fan episodes so far, the What If one and stuff, have been doing really well. And we get a lot of feedback from you guys, and it's really encouraging and really fun to read through and compile and stuff like that. So we're going to keep doing episodes like this, but for this one in particular, start hitting us up. Let us know. Email us at metalupyourpodcastshow@gmail.com. Give us your Metallica records ranked in your favorite order.
Because you know what I guarantee we're going to run across is someone's number 1 is going to be Load, and their number 10 is going to be fucking Reload. Right?
That would be crazy.
Well, yeah. I think there are people that feel that extreme about those 2 records.
Okay, all right. I honestly think we're gonna get a lot of surprises with lists coming from fans.
Yeah, I do too. That's what's really fun about it, right?
Yeah, so it's really fun about it. It just causes more discussion between you and I. Scratching our head, going, "Really? Justice for All is your least favorite record?"
Scratching our butts,
just scratching our balls, man. What? Hello, balls.
Hello, balls. It's me.
The guys are getting a little too dirty.
Oh my God! Celebrity death match between Dave Mustaine and Torben Ulrich. It's gotta happen.
Torben would just slam his staff down on the ring, and lightning would shoot out of it.
And my phone just died. My phone just died.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Metal Up Your Podcast community, I must apologize because guess what? We just experienced our very first delete that moment on the show.
Delete that.
Incredible. Wow. Anyways, as you heard in the show, there were some audio difficulties. We tried to suss it out. Clint's computer was being a bastard, basically. So that's why he sounded like he was on speakerphone. But from the point that the episode cut off until me starting this thing by myself, all you really missed was me playing Orion on bass. And as Clint basically ended the episode and talked about our social media accounts and all that garbage. So our apologies. I even hate that I have to do this outro by myself, but that's the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please write to us, metalupyourpodcastshow@gmail.com. We want to hear from you, and we want to hear your order of Metallica records from best to worst, okay? Number 1, number 10. Yes, our number 10s were saying anger. I'm sure there's some of you out there that say anger is number 1. Who knows? I don't know, but I would like to know. Clint would like to know. So let us know. You can also follow us on Twitter at MetalUpYourCast, Instagram, Metal Up Your Podcast, and you can go to patreon.com/MetalUpYourPodcast to support the show. And you know what? That's about it. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now by myself because I feel alone and cold and dark, and I just need to leave now. All right. Good night, everybody.
If you were our advisor, what would you say? Then I would say, delete that.